There is a spacecraft that has melted out of the ice in Greenland. As you know, the North Pole has melted completely. You can go from London to Moscow or to Russia by going over the North Pole now. All the ice cap is gone. The last place that has ice on it was Greenland. Greenland had a 18,000-foot ice cap on it. Well, the spacecraft that is anchored in the center of Greenland created the last ice age 50,000 years ago. Well,
wait, what?
The spacecraft that is anchored in the center of Greenland created the last ice age 50,000 years ago. It's a weather machine. It's a weather machine. It's 55 miles wide, 300 miles long, and 2 miles high. People that lived in it were called the Mois. If you draw a straight line from the spacecraft to the Washington Monument, Washington, D.C., through the Yucatan Peninsula, Great Pyramid, and Mitsubishi, it ends up on Easter Island where the Mois have been dug out of the dirt.
So, you guys heard it, right? Winter is a man-made type of weather. We are not supposed to be cold. We are not supposed to be feeling cold. We are not supposed to be shivering. Our bones should never be feeling like this. Our body should never be put in a stage where we gotta crumble. We gotta cramp up. We gotta, like hold tight. Nah, man. They know what they're doing. And there is a machine long ago. So I'm starting to wonder if that machine is not, there's not multiple of these machines. They call it weather machine and they also call it a spaceship. So when they tell you about the international airspace, whatever, the space station they got up there, that tell you something, right? Man, I tell you, man, these people, they shit. Like I said, man, the truth is what they all been afraid of and they all been talking about. That's coming. It's the truth. The truth is coming and there's nothing they could do to avoid it. It's coming. And it's coming in full force.
Created the last ice age 50,000 years ago. It's a weather machine. It's a weather machine. It is 55 miles wide, 300 miles long, and 2 miles high. People that lived in it were called the Mois. If you draw a straight line from the spacecraft to the Washington Monument, Washington, D.C., through the Yucatan Peninsula, Great Pyramid, and Mitsubishi, it ends up on Easter Island where the Mois have been dug out of the dirt. The heads on Easter Island? Well, 2 years ago, they finally went ahead and they excavated, and they're all 65 to 85-foot people. Well, 2 years ago, they finally went ahead and they excavated, and they're all 65 to 85-foot people, full-body carvings. And these were the people that lived in the spacecraft that was uncovered that's melting out of the ice in Greenland. So when you think we've been alone, these people have been up there for 50,000 years. The spacecraft is still active after 50,000 years. It has a 200-mile dampening field where no electrons can flow into it. In 1947, a B-52 bomber flew into that pattern, into the dampening field, when trying to fly between Maine and London. As a result of that, they lost power and crashed in Greenland. As they sent in rescue B-52 bombers to rescue them, they hit that same dampening field, but they veered off. They just ricocheted off of it. By testing, trying to get to these guys, they were able to bring a circumference and find out that there was an object 200 miles to the center of this field. On the southwest corner of Greenland, there is a small community. It's the only community on the island of Greenland. That community is a military post, CIA, that uses a compressed air generator to operate diesel engines to run a Caterpillar to run back and forth the 200 miles from the base to the object in Greenland. A lot of our technology comes from the reverse engineering out of the spacecraft. It is still functional and is still in operation. Those of you that don't know, there is a spacecraft